Channel, welcome to another video. At the time of recording, we are a matter of hours away from the Premier League kicking off once again and a new season getting underway. Tonight, Manchester United take on Fulham to get the ball rolling once again on a brand new campaign of the 2024-2025 season. I've already given my predictions on how I think each and every single team will do this season, but I want to give more predictions. I want to give more predictions on the Golden Boot winner. I want to give predictions on who I think will win the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, the Europa League, the Europa Conference League, and of course the granddaddy of them all, the Champions League. I want to give my predictions on all of those things, so that is basically what this video is going to be about today. We're going to be looking at all of those competitions and challenges and all of that stuff, and giving my predictions on how I think each and every single competition will go, in my personal opinion. But before we get into all of that, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always incredibly greatly appreciated. Get involved in the comment section. Would love to know your thoughts, your comments, your opinions, but most of all, of course, your predictions on how you think each and every single competition will go this season. Get involved, use and abuse that comment section, because I'm sure what you have to say will make for great and interesting reading, I'm sure. But without further ado, let's get on with the video and let's talk the predictions ahead of the 2024-25 season. We're going to go over the Premier League right off the bat, and I'm going to reiterate my point on why I think Arsenal are going to win the Premier League this year. I just think this year it is Arsenal's to lose. So far, at the time of recording, Manchester City have only made the one addition to their side. Now, I would fully expect City to make another big addition between now and the end of the window, seemingly as they have lost Julian Alvarez. Because of that, I would expect City to dip back into the transfer market and get someone else. If they don't, I'll be really, really surprised, and I think that could tip the scales in Arsenal's direction. Also, for the Gunners, they'll be bringing in, hopefully for them, Mikel Merino. That deal seems to be edging ever closer to being completed. And there are also maybe one or two other signings that Arsenal are looking to complete before the window slams shut at the end of in a few weeks' time. If they are to bring in this DM, if they are to bring in a striker, as is being talked about a lot, and if they are to bring in a winger as well, or two of the three positions, Arsenal strengthen their position, in my opinion. I think it's theirs to lose this year, and I think that this is... I know we say it a lot, and we have said it a lot over the past couple of years, but I personally think that this is the best opportunity Arsenal will have at taking on Manchester City. I think there is a lot of City that is going to put pressure on them this season. I think with the off-the-pitch court case that they are fighting against the Premier League, or the multiple seemingly court cases they are fighting against the Premier League, that could take its toll. I also think having gone 4 Premier League seasons in a row of winning the title, winning a 5th would be completely unprecedented, never been done before. And I know that obviously people said that about doing it 4 in a row, which they managed to complete. But 5 in a row, going with that same intensity, going with that same mentality for 5 seasons in a row would be absolutely legendary and incredible. I just don't personally see it happening, especially with the lack of reinforcement that Pep seemingly decided, or City have seemingly gone down this summer. I just don't necessarily think that will occur. I just see this being Arsenal's year to lose, in all honesty. I think this is finally the year where they can step up, step to the plate, and finally go that one step further than they've ever done before. Of being, well, not ever done before, but within the Mikel Arteta era, and of course within the past, what would be then 21 years of being known as Premier League champions again. So I'm going with Arsenal to win the Premier League. Again, I know a lot of people may be saying Manchester City, and of course there is a very solid argument to be had there. But I just think, given the fact that there's a lot of talk about Arsenal's transfer business between now and the end of the window, given the fact that they've gone extremely close on a couple of occasions to toppling Manchester City these past couple of years, I think Arsenal will get the job done and take that one step further this year and become Premier League champions for what will be the first time in over 20 years. Next up, we're moving on to the Golden Boot, and I've gone with a bit of a surprise in Alexander Isak. Now, of course, he'll have a massive uphill struggle against Erling Haaland, the winner of the past 2 Golden Boots in a row since, of course, arriving in England. He's looking to make it a hat-trick of Golden Boots, 3 in a row, 3 on the bounce. But I think he's going to face stiff competition this year from a certain Newcastle and Swedish striker. Now, of course, people may still be saying Haaland is destined to win this. And, you know, again, it's rightfully so that he would be a strong favourite, a heavy contender. And, of course, he would be very strongly in contention to win 3 in a row. But I've just got a feeling he will be toppled this year. I've got a feeling that Isak's in for a big season ahead. If he stays fit, and of course he is in a very good team around him, I think Isak very well could. He got 20 goals last campaign, I believe. He was one of the top goal scorers in the Premier League. And I think that with the way that I'm envisioning Newcastle becoming this season, I personally think Isak can topple him. I think if he can get some big goals in big moments, and we know that sometimes Haaland does struggle in some of the bigger games to really make an impact, and we saw that towards the end of last season. We've seen it in certain cup finals and semi-finals, that, you know, Haaland doesn't exactly turn up in those particular moments, or hasn't yet for Manchester City in those particular moments. I think if Isak remains consistent, I think if Newcastle remain consistent and constantly feed in chances, I think this guy is going to be on fire this season. And I think it's telling that a lot of people have had him in their fantasy teams as to why that may be the case. I think it's straightforward. I think it's I think it's a good shout. Alexander Isak. I wanted to be a little bit different. I didn't want to just say it for the sake of saying it though. So I genuinely do believe that Isak could topple Haaland. The only thing that does concern me is that Haaland may probably stat pad against the likes of your Ipswiches, your Southamptons, maybe even your Nottingham Forests. You know, teams like that. So that's my only worry with Haaland, is that he may stat pad against those, as much as I say that he may not turn up in the bigger games for City. But Isak, on the other hand, I just have a feeling about him. I just have a feeling that maybe this season he's going to be the Golden Boot winner. He's going to drive Newcastle forward, and Newcastle are going to be a bigger and better team because of that. And I think they're going to be in for a successful season, as why I put them to finish 5th in my Premier League predictions video. Next on, Europa Conference League. I've gone with Chelsea. Straightforward. Chelsea have the biggest and best squad in that competition. And regardless of what you think about the squad, they should have enough about them to go on and win this competition. With all due respect to this competition, I don't know half of the teams and half of the clubs that are going to be competing in this tournament this year. So for me, this is a no-brainer. Chelsea have to win it. If Chelsea don't win it, that will be embarrassment. I don't care if Enzo Maresca is new to European competition. I don't care if he's new to managing a club like Chelsea. I don't care any kind of situation or any kind of context to this. Chelsea need to win this competition. If they don't, it is ultimately failure. They must win this. Simple as that. They must win this. And I think I'm right in thinking that this will give them a gateway, another gateway into the Europa League for next season. So that should also be another big incentive for them to follow, just in case things turn out pretty poorly in the league, which I'm personally predicting. Next on, moving on to the Europa League, and I'm going with Manchester United. Now, similarly to Chelsea, this competition will offer an alternative gateway into the Champions League for next season, just in case they miss out on the top 4/top 5, depending on obviously how well English teams do in Europe, how well that situation goes. But I've gone with United to win. I think they have the best squad on paper in this competition. I think they have a manager that obviously over the past couple of years has done really well in knockout competitions. And I think the Europa League will serve as another opportunity of silverware for Erik ten Hag. And I think it will serve as an alternative gateway to the Champions League. And I just think United, like I say, have the better squad overall to win this competition. I think it's similarly to Liverpool of last year. They will go into this as the heavy favourites, in my opinion. Not just because of the squad, but because of the manager as well. And it's all up to them. It's theirs to win, and it's also theirs to lose. So I'm going with Manchester United. I think they'll have a very good season next year. I think they will get top 4, and I think they will also get some silverware in the form of the Europa League as well. As much as I hope I am wrong in saying that, as much as I hope that obviously it all goes completely pear-shaped and there is an absolute car crash of a season for Manchester United that is waiting to unfold this campaign, I personally see them getting top 4, and I personally see them winning some silverware. So we shall see on that one. Next up, Carabao Cup. I'm going with Arsenal again. I'm going with them to complete some sort of domestic double. It's not the domestic double, of course, but I would expect them to get some silverware. Look, a Premier League will be enough to satisfy Arsenal. Of course it would. But I think with the past few years that they have attempted to win the Premier League under Mikel Arteta, they've somewhat neglected other pieces of silverware as well. I think, obviously, like I said earlier, if they can get 1 or 2 more signings through the door this summer, I think they'll have an all-round squad that is capable of competing on multiple fronts. And I think the Carabao Cup would serve as an excellent opportunity to inject the squad with, this particular squad with the capabilities, the confidence to maybe go on and win other things and achieve other accolades and challenges. The Carabao Cup serves as an excellent opportunity in that aspect. Yes, it is a competition that not many teams take seriously. Yes, it is a competition that's not exactly high on the priority list of clubs. And yes, it is a competition in which, seemingly unless you win it, fans seem to somewhat disrespect and disregard. So I understand that logic behind it. But I think winning a trophy partway through the season, especially with what that could offer a team, could inspire bigger and better things later on down the line, with all due respect to the English Football League Cup. I think Arsenal have a good opportunity. Of course, obviously, with these kind of things, it does depend on the draw that you receive. If Arsenal were to get like a Liverpool at Anfield in the third round, or a Manchester City away kind of thing, then obviously you may look at things and go a bit, that could obviously be a bit of a toss-up and could go any which way. But I personally think Arsenal need to start taking the domestic cups a bit more seriously, go a bit more hard in them, and I think this would be a good opportunity to start off with. So I'm going with Arsenal to win the Carabao Cup. Again, it could be more open considering the low priority that this seemingly does take with a lot of clubs, and obviously the way that teams look at this as a sort of rotational competition. But the later you go on, you take it a bit more seriously. I still think Arsenal will have a very good and strong chance of winning this come February, March time. It's February, March time, isn't it? We're moving on to the FA Cup, and I go with Manchester City. I think given my predictions of how I believe that Arsenal will win the Premier League, Arsenal will win the Carabao Cup, I think that City will need to win something, and I think it will be in the form of the FA Cup. Obviously, they've made the final for the past couple of years straight. They've won one and lost one to their bitter rivals Manchester United in both of those finals. Obviously, the least said about the last FA Cup final, the better as far as what City are concerned. But they would obviously need to win something this season for it to be considered at least partway a success. If obviously my predictions are to come true, that Arsenal will win the other 2 English competitions that I've already talked about. The FA Cup, again, somewhat disrespected a little bit over the years, considering it is England's biggest domestic cup trophy, but it is still a massive trophy nonetheless. It is still a big trophy, and it's still something that obviously Manchester City can add to their collection come the end of the season, should, of course, they make it that far, and should, of course, they win. Like I say, in the knockout competition, it's anyone's for the taking. We've seen giant killings. It's basically what has made this competition so magic over the course of its history. But I do think City will have the capabilities of winning this, and I think it will be a decent cup for Guardiola and City to win. It probably won't satisfy a lot of City fans, considering the kind of success that they've been used to over the past few years especially. But at the same time, if, like I say, my predictions are to come true, City will need to win something, and I see City winning this competition. They are normally good at reaching the final, at least in this competition over the past few years, so let's face it, they are within good standing of making it far in this competition and potentially going on to win it. So that is my take there. And finally, Champions League, I have gone with Real Madrid. I cannot look past Madrid this year. Best team on paper, best manager to win this competition with. I genuinely think we are in for what would be number 16 for Real Madrid in terms of Champions League triumphs over the course of this competition's illustrious long history. With Mbappe being reinforced, with Endrick coming in, and with whoever else that Real Madrid have got waiting in their ranks to shine this season, I'm pretty confident in this prediction that Real Madrid will secure the 16th Champions League title in their history. Look, it's not a foregone conclusion by any stretch of the imagination. Of course, there may be a bit of an upset. There could be a bit of a giant killing. And with this new Champions League format, it's going to be very interesting to see how this competition does unfold before our very eyes this campaign. But in saying all of that, look, Don Carlo knows how to win these games. He knows how to get far in this competition. He knows how to secure the trophy at the end of it. And this Real Madrid team have it bleeding right the way through to its very core of this competition. They know how to win. They know how to secure this trophy. This is within its club's DNA, this illustrious trophy. It seems only logical that you would go with Real Madrid in this situation, given the squad they have, given the reinforcements they've made this season, and given the manager that is going to be the brains behind the operation. Real Madrid to win the Champions League is my personal prediction for the competition this year. But I am very much looking forward to seeing how the new format does take shape over the course of this campaign. Look, those are my predictions. Those are my thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys are thinking and feeling about any of these competitions that I've talked about in this video. Let me know your thoughts, your comments, opinions, but most of all, of course, let me know your predictions on how each and every single competition will go this season. Get down below in the comment section. Use and abuse that comment section, people. Would love to hear from you all on what you have to say on all of these things. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things are always and forever be greatly appreciated. Get involved as well, like I say. Would be great to hear from you all. Otherwise, thanks everyone for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I will see you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you all again very, very soon.